Diolch I chi, Dirprwy Is-Ganghellor am y geiriau caredig, and thank you for your kind words, Deputy Vice-Chancellor. Before I begin, I have to give props and chapeau to the graduate who walked across the red carpet with a hip flask. What a power move on the day you graduate. It's like travelling back in time. I graduated in this room in July 2002, and I vividly remember it. My parents were sitting up there in the third tier, and the Cardiff University logo hasn't changed. This room hasn't changed. The mortarboards, the gowns, the caps, nothing has changed. The one thing that is different, however, is that we were told by the Chancellor at the beginning of the ceremony, in no uncertain terms, that our friends and family were not to whoop, cheer, or show any emotion at all during the ceremony. They were allowed to applaud right at the end, so everyone was applauded at the same time. So I graduated in a funereal atmosphere. I remember after about 10 minutes in, a family was sort of sitting up there. Their son had graduated, and the mother went, woo! And it was anarchy, it was chaos. The whole thing just fell apart. Anyway, mae'n fraint cael bod yma heddi. Hoffwn I ddechrau gan ddiolch I bawb ym Mhrifysgol Caerdydd am yr anrhydedd enfawr yma, ac I fy rhieni yn enwedig, buodd mor gefnogol troedden ni yn y brifysgol. Maen nhw'n gwybod mwy nag unrhyw un faint mae hwn yn ei olygu. I'd like to begin by thanking everyone at Cardiff University for this incredible honour, to be made an honorary fellow at the institution that was so important in the shaping of my adult life is a genuinely humbling experience. Now, I moved to Cardiff and I began studying for my degree in modern history and politics back in September 1999. So it's before some of you were born. Something I'm sure you'll struggle to believe is true because I am so young and relevant. Within days, and it feels like yesterday, I'd fallen in love with the city, I'd fallen in love with the course, and I graduated with a 2-1. And I can't stress this enough, because even though I was very bright, I was never a nerd. I was just too dangerous for a first. Actually, when I walked across the red carpet, I gave a double thumbs up because I was an agitator. Also, my girlfriend left me before my second-year exams, which counted towards 50% of my degree, but let's not use this speech to settle old scores. When I was struggling to revise, my dad said, "Can you not use heartbreak to inspire you to spend more time in the library?" That's not how it works, Dad. Now, just like you, coming to Cardiff University, it introduced me to people I would never otherwise have met. It taught me things that are still relevant to me today, and it gave me friends for life. I recently saw mates I'd met in my first few weeks at Talabont South, which back then wasn't simply a halls of residence, it was a frame of mind. We were all graduates from Cardiff, and some of us now are comedy producers and writers. A friend of mine works for the Foreign Office, but he never gives me any good goss because he signed the Official Secrets Act. We all met during Freshers' Week. You know, it's so long ago. We all lived in, frankly, dystopian accommodation on Woodville Road. We spent too much time at Welsh Club. Tragically, we had some really genuinely terrible nights out at Tiger. I don't know what we were doing there, but almost a quarter of a century later, we are still good friends. However, we're now in our 40s, and I would like to talk today to the drifters amongst you, because I was one of you. Now, I vividly remember the day I graduated. I remember my graduation ceremony, and to be honest, I was terrified. I didn't know what was coming next. Although I loved my course, I had no idea what I wanted to do, apart from some nebulous idea of being involved in comedy, something I didn't know how to achieve. I didn't do my first stand-up gig until I was 24. And initially, they were going badly. I was doing a show in Bristol. I'd probably only done 10 or 15 gigs. It was going terribly, and there's a bloke at the back. He stood up halfway through my set, and he said, "You have lost control. I don't know what you're trying to do, but you have lost control," which was exactly as helpful as you can imagine, right? I didn't go full-time as a comedian until I was almost 28. I worked in pubs, cafes, I did lots of temping, I got sacked from a gas company in Splot for slouching. I did data entry for a pipe company in Roath, and I sat alongside a man called Dennis, and I would like to take this opportunity to put on record in front of 2,000 people here at the St David's Hall and say that he was definitely Britain's most profoundly boring man. 6 months I worked alongside Dennis. He didn't say anything of note in 6 months, half a year. Now, it's fine to be scared of what's coming next. You can use your 20s to find out. That's what everyone I know did. But you have a degree, and a degree matters. No one can take that away from you. Unless you didn't pay your library fines. I was never quite sure how that worked. But I think it's hugely disappointing that some people who took for granted opportunities your generation were never given have chosen this of all weeks to attack the worth of going to university. You all know better than anyone how hard it is to get a degree. The work is challenging. The standards here at Cardiff are incredibly high. So by being in this room today, you have all committed to something, and you should be deeply, deeply proud of your achievements. To those of you who are mature students and have decided to use a degree at Cardiff to change the direction of your lives, I applaud you. Most of you, however, are at the beginning of your journey. Cherish your friendships as they are the most important thing. Life is short. Make a difference. Grab the opportunities you were given. Congratulations to you all for graduating, and I wish you all the best of luck.